Please, the
Thank you.
next, yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
The next person, please.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
My,
We can hear
my
you.
name is Musa If IK from College of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, Bingham University, Jos Campus.
Musa, you're welcome. You're very much welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. The next person, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Ayeti Botemitope from Federal Ministry of Education.
Okay, Ayetiwa, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Any other person? Hello? Okay, there's no other person. Let's go to business of the day. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are listening from. Welcome to today's digital literacy class on operation and management of institutional repository. My name is Mirabel, and I'll be your moderator for the day. So before we begin, please, in order for us to have a smooth experience in our class today, you have to mute yourself and speak when maybe you're asked to know, or maybe the floor is open for you to speak. Then, if you want to ask questions, you make use of the chat section. You make use of the chat section, and I think that's all for now for the rules. I wanted us to at least 10 of us to introduce ourselves while we're waiting for other people. But I don't time is not on our side, so just go ahead. Our facilitator for today is Mr. Aziz Elijah Olawale. Can you hear me? I hope everyone is with me. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Our facilitator for today is Mr. Aziz Elijah Olawale, and he is a versatile professional in the field of library and information science, currently serving as a digital librarian at the National Library of Nigeria, with a profound understanding of library management systems and digital archiving. Aziz is also the convener and team lead of Tech Up Librarians Initiative, where he has shared valuable insights on digital literacy, information management and technology integration within library and information center cases. Aziz's commitment to professional development is evident through his role as a facilitator in various training sections on digital archiving, institution repository, library management systems, and relevant software applications. His expertise extends beyond traditional library practices, encompassing critical subjects such as sustainable development, climate change, and information literacy, reflecting a holistic approach to information advocacy. Beyond his professional role, Aziz actively contributes to societal betterment through volunteer work with the Duke and Duchess Foundation, where he serves as a writer, content creator, and manages social media platforms. This showcases his dedication to using information sciences not only for personal enrichment but also for broader community engagement, emphasizing the transformative role of libraries and information centers in fostering positive societal change. Let's all, with a round of applause, welcome our facilitator. Let's welcome him because it's not easy for him to bring out time to come and give us to come and enrich us from his bank of knowledge. Thank you all. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause, please.
Okay, hello everyone.
So, we can hear you, sir.
Oh,
Welcome.
Okay, thank you so much for that introduction, Miss Mirabel. God bless you. Okay, so I don't know if you can see me. I'm trying to start my video. Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So I will be sharing my screen now. Okay, so everyone, you are welcome to the third module of digital literacy training organized by the National Library of Nigeria. So this module is on creation and management of institutional repository. And let me quickly say that this particular module is beneficial to everyone, irrespective of your profession. Either you are a librarian or you work in any other type of organization. This particular module is what I would like you to pay keen attention to. This I'm getting some sort of distraction. Okay, so as Mrs. Mirabel has actually introduced, I'm a digital librarian with the National Library of Nigeria, and the next 1 hour I'll be taking you through the course content, and for 30 minutes, the next 30 minutes we'll be taking questions and providing adequate answers to them. Okay, so we'll be having 5 items in our table of contents. However, because the module is going to last for 2 weeks, so we'll be taking just the first 3 items. The first one is Introduction to Institutional Repository, the design and development of institutional repository, and content management and acquisition strategies. So next week, by God's grace, we'll be taking the advocacy of institutional repository and then practical on the space content management and administration. So what is institutional repository? I want to believe that this is not our first time of hearing the word institutional repository. Imagine a big digital hub where your organization keeps all the smart stuff like research papers, reports, and other burning works. That's basically what a national repository is. It's like a library, but online, where all the
Excuse me, Mr. Elijah, please.
Okay.
Please, there are some people on the background. Their microphones are still on, and there's another device echoing. Please, you people should mute your devices, please. Please, so that we can hear what the facilitator is saying. Please, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I was also experiencing that. So let's see if we can just mute everyone. Okay, I think we have been able to eliminate the background noise. Please confirm if you can still hear the background noise at your end. please. Ms. Mirabel. Ms. Mirabel, can I continue?
Yes, you can. There's no background noise.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay, so as I was saying, just imagine a national repository as a library, but not physical library this time, but an online one, where all the projects, essays, and studies from your institution organizations get stored and organized neatly for everyone to find and use. And that is what institutional repository is basically. So why then do we bother with this digital library thing? Well, think about it this way. When smart people like researchers, professors, and students create awesome works, they want others to see it, right? That's where the institutional repository comes in handy. It helps make their work more visible to the world. Plus, it is not just about showing off, it also makes it easier for people to find and read all that smart stuff, which is super helpful. And guess what? By keeping everything in one place, I mean in the digital hub, the IR help us and the institution to hold on to all the brain power for a very long time, preserving it for future generations to learn and enjoy all the digital content. In a nutshell, National Repository is like a digital clubhouse for all the brainy works your institution produce. Its main job is to make sure that everyone's hard work gets noticed, accessed easily, and stick around for a very long time. So whether you are a researcher sharing your latest findings or a student showing off your awesome projects, the National Repository is there to make sure your work gets the attention it deserves and stays around for others to learn for a very, very long time. What then are the benefits you can get from National Repository? When scholars, scientists, or students who put their work on institutional repository, they get some benefits. You know, it's like giving your work to your work a spotlight because it can get more citation. You know, many researchers will begin to reference your works. That means that more people are reading and talking about it, which is awesome for their reputation. Plus, having your work in National Repository can make it super visible worldwide. You know, it becomes a global content. Also, imagine your essay or thesis being read by people all over the globe, and putting your work in the National Repository can help universities and researchers follow the rules for getting money to do their research. It's like ticking all the boxes so that everyone are happy and the researchers keep flowing and more content keeps going. You know, we're talking about open knowledge. So how National Repository supports open access principles. You know, that is what we want to achieve. You know, I could remember that while we were having our last module, a lot of emphasis was made on open access. I mean on the Wikipedia editing and formatting. Lots of emphasis were made on open access. So what then is open access? Open access is like a big friendly gate that everyone goes in to read and learn from different academic stuff without having to pay a toll. So just imagine you have a free toll gate where you can get into another country without having to pay. Just imagine that without having to pay for any fee, visa fee, application fee, or any other type of fee. So just imagine that scenario. So that is what open access, open knowledge access is. So national repositories are like the knight guarding that gate. They help by making research and knowledge freely available to everyone with an internet connection. No more locked doors or expensive subscriptions. Everyone from students to scientists to curious folks can access the latest discoveries and ideas. This help level the playing field and make sure that knowledge is not just for the rich or privileged. It's like spreading the wealth of knowledge far and wide. making the world a smarter and more equal place. We are talking about democratizing access of knowledge. Democracy in knowledge. That is what I target. I target as democracy in knowledge. And that is democratizing access to knowledge. Have you ever feel you are on the other side looking in when it comes to academic research? Institutional repositories are here to change that. They are like giant libraries that anyone can walk into, no membership required. By putting research and scholarly work in institutional repositories, authors are then saying, hey, come take a look at what I have discovered. It's like opening the door to the ivory tower and inviting everyone to join the conversation. This means that students, educators, policymakers, and even more people outside the academic world can benefit from the latest research finding. Institutional repositories are all about making knowledge accessible to everyone, breaking down barriers and empowering people to learn and grow. What type of documents or what type of content do we then put on institutional repositories? So many people felt that it is just research works. No, not just research works. So there are various type of content that we can put on institutional repository. However, the first thing in setting up institutional repository is to identify the type of content that can be uploaded on institutional repositories. You can find varieties of stuff like it's just like a treasure trove of knowledge. First up, there are articles. Articles are scholarly papers written by researchers and academics covering all sorts of topics, from biology to literature to history to bibliography to librarianship, and many other fields of knowledge. Then there are theses and dissertations, which are like big project students. What we get for our degrees, either first degree, second degree, or your PhD degree. Where we research and write about a specific subject in depth. It's like in-depth research on a particular topic or knowledge. We also have data sets. So that means that it's not just about putting our research works or articles on IR. IR is institutional repositories. We also put data sets, and these are collections of information or data that are gathered from research studies or experiments. And also, we also put multimedia materials. We are still going to have a module on multimedia where you are going to understand different type of multimedias. So for now, we have videos, we have audio recordings, we have presentations, just like the one we are having now, and also we have pictures. These are medias that complement the written content with visuals or sound. So I would also like to emphasize the importance of diverse content type in showcasing the breadth of international scholarship. Having understand the different type of content we upload on our national repository, it is also important to emphasize the real essence of setting up our national repository. This is because it shows up the wide range of cool stuff happening at a school, organization, or research institution. Imagine if all you had were articles. You will miss out on seeing the groundbreaking experience in data sets or the creative presentations in multimedia formats. By having this variety, the repository becomes a rich resource that reflects the depth and diversity of research and scholarship happening within our institutions and organizations. And also, it makes the repository more appealing to different types of users, from students looking for inspiration to researchers hunting for data, even for the blind and for the deaf. The institutional repository is intended to cater for different categories of users. Think of this way also. If you are trying to convince someone that your institution is a hub of knowledge and innovation, and having a diverse range of content in your repository will help you paint that picture very vividly. It's like saying, look, all the amazing things we are doing here, does different people learn and engage with information in different ways. Some might even prefer reading articles, while others might love digging into data sets or watching videos. By catering to these different preferences and different categories of users, you are making your repository more accessible and inclusive, which is always a win-win in the world of academic and research. So we are still going to be having practicals, like I said, next week is going to be for practicals, and you are expected to design an national repository. So these are the things you need to put in mind, the type of content, because you have to make a decision on the type of content which you must be very consistent with. So let's discuss some of the examples of national repositories we have around the world. So instead of the shelf that we used to have, we used to keep our physical books with, they are computers. These computers hold special collections of research papers, articles, and other academic works created by students and professors from different organizations and universities. Each computer represents an national repository, a place where all the knowledge and research from a specific academic institutions are stored digitally. For example, you might find a repository for Harvard University or National Library of Nigeria or Ministry of Education or National Library of India or National Library of Canada, where you can access papers written by their scholars or by their users. Similarly, other universities what other university? Federal University of Ekiti, Federal Ede, and the likes. They also have their own repositories. These repositories are like treasure trove of knowledge, making it easy for people to find and use research from specific university without needing to physically visit each organizations or libraries. So if I am setting up a national repository for National Library of Nigeria, that means you don't need to come to the physical structure of National Library to make use of all of our resources. You can easily access it from the convenience of your home, in different time and at different location. So these internal repositories must have good functionalities for them to be able to achieve their set objective. So just picture yourself like searching for a specific research paper online, and you visit the National Repository of National Library of Nigeria and notice some features. You can easily search for papers by typing in keywords or browsing through different categories. Once you find a paper you are interested in, you can read it online or download it from later. But it is not just about finding that paper. The repository also helps us to organize research in helpful ways. You might see options to filter results by publication date, author, or subject, making it easier. It's a segregated searching system. It makes it easier for us to be able to narrow down our search. Plus, many repositories provide detailed information about each paper, like the author's name, and abridged information of the resources, that is an abstract, citation details, helping us to decide if it is relevant for our research or not. These features make it simple and convenient for anyone to access and use academic research for various institutions. It is very, very important that we clearly define the features of each content we are putting on our internal repository for easy and global accessibility. So quickly, I would like us to talk about the design and development of internal repository. Please, I know we might have questions. Just let's use the chat session for our questions. Our moderator is going to curate all the questions and then present them for answers at the end of the session. So we have design and development of internal repositories, we have planning and assessment, we have platform selection, infrastructural requirements, metadata standards and protocols, and user interface designs. These are all the things we need to consider before setting up our internal repositories. Without making a decision on all of these things, you might end up making mistakes in your design for internal repository. So the first thing is planning and assessment. That is the first thing, before thinking about deploying your IR, you must have a good plan and assessment in place. So this involves several steps to ensure its success. Firstly, there is need for a need assessment. This is where we figure out what exactly the repository needs to do. This is where we make decision on what type of information we want to save on our repository, what type of users we want to serve, and the type of access we want to provide. Is it going to be open access or closed access? Do we want people to be able to download the resources, or we just want them to be able to list the abstracts? So these are the stages. This is the stages where we make all of these decisions. It involves understanding the type of content we want to hold, who will use it, and what they will use it for. Then next, it is important that we identify stakeholders, that is the group or the people or group who have vested interest in the repository success. This can include researchers. Mostly researchers make use of institutional repositories. We have, in the case of university system, we have faculty members, we have students, we have management team, and we also have administrators. Once we have made decision on the stakeholders, we are now setting a very clear goal for our institutional repository. The goals should align with the institutional overall mission and objective. And finally, conducting feasibility studies. This helps us to determine if the institution is ready to implement the institutional repository. It involves assessing factors like available resources, staff expertise, and institutional support. Then, after all of these conditions have been met, we can now move to the next stage, which is selection of the platform. There are various platforms for institutional repository, and choosing the right platform for IR is very, very important. There are various options available, each with its own features and capacities and capabilities. Factors to consider when selecting a platform should include scalability, which is the ability to grow and adapt as the repository needs change over time. As we grow, the repository must be able to adapt to the change. And also we have interoperability. It's another important consideration to make to ensure that the repository can integrate with other systems and share data seamlessly. Then additionally, community support is also important. A platform with an active user community can provide valuable resources, support, and updates. So these are the things you need to consider when selecting your platform. We have various platforms for institutional repository, but the space is common, which we'll be talking about that next week. So we also have infrastructural requirements. To support the institutional repository, the institution needs to have and provide the necessary hardware, software, and technical infrastructure. This includes the servers to hold the repository, the storage space to store digital content, the backup system to ensure data preservation, the security measures, and also the scanning machines, the scanners, robotic scanners, as the case may be, depending on the type of resources you want to be uploading on your institutional repository. So another thing you must also consider in infrastructural development is requirement is backup. Your storage system, how is the backup like? The security requires careful planning and investment in robust infrastructure. So this is very, very important. Before you start talking about institutional repository, you must have had a robust discussion with your organizations as regard the infrastructural requirements available and the ones they are capable of acquiring. Also, the fourth item, in the design and development of institutional repository to be considered is interdata standards and protocols. So this is very, very important. We talk about easy access to our content on institutional repository. So metadata is very, very important in this role because it helps in organizing and describing the content within the institutional repository. The commonly used metadata, especially in the field of librarianship and library and information services, is Duplicate Core. However, we have others like the mods, the METs, and other type of metadata frameworks. So these standards provide a structured framework for describing items such as title, author, date, subjects, abstract, descriptions, and the likes. And the best practice for metadata creation involve ensuring consistency, accuracy, and completeness. Metadata maintenance is also important to keep information up to date and relevant. And also, the ability of the metadata to be shared and understood across different systems is another thing to consider when implementing our metadata standard. So we are going to show you how to import or export metadata standards on our internal repository, but specifically on the space. And then lastly, we'll talk about user interface and design. So the design of the user interface for internal repository is also very important in providing a positive user experience. Principles of user-centered design emphasize the importance of designing interfaces that are intuitive, easy to navigate, and accessible to all users. Remember, you must have made a decision on the type of, during the planning and assessment stage, you must have decided on the type of content you want to upload, the type of users, your internal repository users. So you must consider them by designing a very good interface. You must consider their easiness in navigating the platform, and then how they can easily access all the contents and resources on the internal repository. So customization options, we allow your user to personalize their experience and find content more easily. Accessibility considerations also ensure that the repository is usable by individuals with disabilities. I spoke about that earlier, including those who are sensitive to technologies. By prioritizing user interface design, institutions or organizations can enhance usability and engagement with the repository, which is the essence and then the reason why we are setting up the repository in the first place. So we also have content management and acquisition strategies. While developing your content, there are so many things you need to consider. So we have collection development policies, we have copyright and licensing considerations, we have metadata creation and enhancements, we have the submission workflow and the preservation strategies. So these are the things we consider to ensure that our users have easy and seamless access to the content we are putting up for them on the internal repository. So we'll be talking on the collection development policies. So collection development policies, they are like guidelines that help us decide what content should be included in the internal repository. Imagine your content collection development policies as a roadmap, a guideline or a tool for choosing the right materials to put in digital library shelf. These policies not only help in picking materials, but also they help us deal with important items like copyright, licenses, and when to make things available. For example, if someone writes a paper or an article, the policy might say that it can be added to the repository, and if there are any rules about who can access it, I spoke about that earlier. You must consider the creator of the content you are putting on your internal repository, because they also need to benefit. They have some intellectual benefits and financial benefits to gain from every content they created. So secondly, we also have the copyright and licensing consideration. Copyrights, they are like set of rules that protect someone's work, just like a book or a painting, from being copied without permission. When putting these items or content on our internal repository, it is important that we understand these rules. We don't just put everything just because we want to keep populating our internal repository. We don't just put every work we have in our library, in our national repository. We must put into consideration the copyright of the author or the creator of the contents. Most times we have cases in the music industry. We have cases of people saying that this person copied my lyrics, this person copied my um, this person copied my flow, things like that. So these are copyright and licensing considerations we must put in place when we are selecting all of these contents while designing our national repository. So just think of it as knowing when you can and can't use someone else's materials. Licensing is a bit, like renting movies. It's about giving permission to use the work under certain conditions. So if you want to share something in the repository, you need to make sure you have the right permission, just like asking before borrowing someone's stuff. So before you start building up national repository, you must understand the copyright law of your country. Every country has, their copyright acts that guides the kind of content they upload on their platform. So we also have metadata creation and then enhancements. So like I said earlier, metadata, they are like library behind the scenes. It's the information about the information, it is the information, about the contents we are putting on the national repository. In the case of book, we have title of the book, we have author of the book. We also have some important keywords from the book, mostly taken from table of contents, and we also have abstracts. So these are items that help people find what they are looking for easily. So creating a metadata can be done by hand typing in details about each item, or it can be done automatically, like when your phone organize your photos by date, like we have Google Photos. Metadata means making it even easier and better, like adding more details or fixing mistakes, so it is easy for people to find the right stuff in the repository. Also, we have our submission workflow. Because what you are putting on national repository is going to a wider audience or wider users. You must pay more attention on editing. So the content you are putting on your repository should pass through various stages of editing and reviewing. So submission workflow will help us to achieve this. Submission workflow by definition is the process of adding stuff to the repository in a smooth and organized way. Imagine it like a conveyor in your factory. It moves from one stage to another until they are ready to be shared. Let's take, for instance, I want to upload a book written about the president of Nigeria, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I should, it should start from the first person, the first submitter who is submitting the work, who is doing the metadata description, by adding the title, the author of the work, the abstract of the work. So then after that, it should go to a more senior officer that will check the repository policies. Like in the beginning, I told you that we must have a guideline. They must check if what the first person has entered is in compliance with the repository guideline that has been set up. Then it should now move to another reviewer who will check for typographical error, because while typing, you might not be able to identify the mistake yourself, but the next person should be able to identify that mistake. Remember, it is going, let's take for instance, the item is being uploaded on national repository, which is being managed by National Library of Nigeria. It is going worldwide. So if there is a simple mistake, for instance, I want to type it and I'm just typing IT, which is just it instead of ITS, it's like a slap on the entire nation for that simple mistake. So it needs to go through several stages of editing and reviewing. So that is what the submission workflow is before it gets to the final user. And lastly, we have the preservation strategies. Remember, you are is the digitization process. The last stage is archiving, but you need to preserve properly. So preservation is just talking or making sure that things in the repository stay safe and sound for a very long time. Let's take for instance, I I snapped a picture and I sent to the first person, via WhatsApp. You do know that picture qualities do reduce on WhatsApp. By the time it is getting to like the 20th person, the picture quality must have reduced to a stage where it becomes visible that this picture quality has reduced. You understand that? So the format we save our works on a repository is also very, very important. We have archiving formats which we are going to talk about. So this preservation is just about making sure that your work on internal repository remain in its original state for as many years as possible. You know, it means that having plans for things like making backups, like saving a copy of your work on USB drive or on the cloud, moving content to new system if the needs be, and even pretending to be an old computer system to keep old files working. It's like having a plan A, no, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, and even plan E, if possible, to make sure that nothing gets lost in the digital world. So there are various preservation techniques which we'll be discussing at a later date. If you have a question around that, you can ask because it's not part of our content. So I just stumble on that. So we also have advocacy optional repository. After creating your optional repository, you need people to be aware of that. But we will not be talking about advocacy for optional repository now. We'll be discussing that next week, Wednesday and Saturday, possibly. So thank you so much for your time. I have promised not to waste our time today. I want to take more questions today. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I don't think anybody have a question because they have not indicated. They have not indicated. But please, if any of you have any questions, you can drop it so I can read it out for Mr. Elijah. In absence of any questions, I want to thank you, Mr. Elijah. Thank you very much for this wonderful knowledge you have given to us. Thank you for your dedication.
Okay.
Is there any question?
I can see someone have a question.
Okay, if you have a question, just unmute yourself.
Moderator ma,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me, ma?
Yes,
Please, I intentionally, limit myself to less than an hour so that we can have enough time to take more questions. You understand, ma? So I would not like us.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, I'll leave the floor for people. Or should I read out the question? How do we do it?
Yes,
Should I read out the question?
just create them, and let's answer them. Thank you.
No one, just one person. And the person said, how is an institutional repository different from a database? That question is from Dauda Baila.
Okay, thank you. So institutional repository is very much different from database. Database is just like collecting your data about a particular item. Like for instance, you have a database about staff of your organization. You can have their name, their staff number, and the likes. So you can create this within your organization. When we talk about internal repository, the type of content you have on your internal repository, they are more of academics and things being produced by your organizations. And it is not just having them within your organization. It makes it available for people to be able to access, beyond or outside the walls of your own organization. Do you understand that, sir? So that is the difference between database. I can decide to create a database using Microsoft Word or Microsoft Access. But what will make people to be able to access it, is to have full access to what I am collecting. The information I am collecting is internal repository. Please, I don't know if your question has been answered or you want me to emphasize more on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. Thank you very much. I hope it answers your question, Mr. Dauda. The next question comes from Mr. Kenny Timmy. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it well. In preparation for next week, are there any prerequisite setup needed to be put in place by participants so we can readily go into the business of the day without having to go over the rigors of setting it up before proceeding?
Please, I can't hear you very well. Okay, I think I can see the question. So the question goes thus: in preparation for next week, are there any prerequisite setup needed to be put in place by participants so we can readily go into the business of the day without having to go over the rigors of setting up before proceedings? Okay, so actually there is none for now because we are making use of this space. You can practice it before the day, and if you have any questions while we are demonstrating it, you can then ask those questions. To practice with the space, you can use the demo site. They have a demo site. It is demo.thisspace.org. So you can practice that while we do the demonstration next week.
Okay. There's another question also. I hope it answers Mr. Kenny Timmy. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, I'm with you, please.
Okay. There's another question from Mr. Basha Adamu. He said, can an individual create his personal repository rather than instructional based repository?
So I guess the person is trying to type institutional based repository because I seem not to get that instructional based repository. Please, am I right? Can Mr.
Yes,
Okay, Bashir Adamu confirm if I'm right with the question? So, Mr. Bashir Adamu, please can you confirm if I am right with your question? Okay, so thank you. So as an individual, you can create your own repository. We have various platforms that allow you to do that. And to do that, you must have lots of resources on ground, and the essence of doing that must be well spelled out. But what we are trying to teach you is institutional based, but you can also apply that to your personal self. So it is very much possible that you create a repository for yourself and not just institutional repository. Thank you.
thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. Please, if you have any other question, just drop it before we go further. I don't think any other person have any question. Mr. Elijah.
So can I ask my own question?
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I hope we are all ready for my question.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I think I'm seeing one question from Dauda Iba. Moderator Ma, are you there?
What is it? He's saying, okay, okay, that one has been answered. What is the place of, hello? He said, what is the place of IR, I think the institutional repository in library consortium? Hello?
Yes, okay. So when
Did
we
you
talk
hear
about,
that? Okay.
yes, I'm with you. So when we talk about library consortiums, like we all know, is like forming a partnership with another library. So it's very, very important. Different organizations can, can decide, or because I don't want to limit these lectures to library, so I'll be using the word organization most often. So different organization or similar organization with almost the same objective can decide to share their resources. Remember, while setting up your national repository, you have decided on the type of users you are having. So if you cannot, your own national repository cannot cater for a specific category of user, you can make a consortium. You can decide to partner with a sister organization that have materials for that particular organization. Let's take for instance, we have a public library and we have an academic library. So in the case of a public library, the type of materials you have should cater for all and sundry. And in the case of academic library, it's just limited mostly to the faculty members and students. So if there's a researcher that needs, a work, a particular article that talks about a community, or that talks about, or that cater for the blind, or that cater for the deafs and dumb, they can decide to form a consortium with the public library, their own national repository. So there is a relationship between national repository and library consortium. I don't know if you get that. Another example I can use to um, answer this question is the national repository. So the national repository is a repository of all type of repository in Nigeria, for instance. So expect that repositories of various organizations, repositories of various universities are embedded in the national repository. Do you understand? So to do this, National Library is expected to have a consortium with these organizations and these libraries for their own national repository to be able to accommodate all these national repositories.
Okay, thank you very much for answering that question. Very explanatory. Please, do we have any other question? But in the absence of any other question, Mr. Elijah will show his question to the floor.
Okay, so I would like to ask this question. Just mention. Okay, I thought I have a question. So just using your own organization as an example, just give us the stages, just briefly, based on the presentation that has been made so far. The stages, the step-by-step guide on creating your own national repository. So can anyone just answer that? You might not necessarily use my own words, just give us a step-by-step guide. Okay, so is there anyone that wants to answer that? Because I'm seeing another question from Mr. Paul. I want to believe you should be able to say something. If you make mistake, we can, guide you properly. What do you need to do first? While conceptualizing that idea, what is the first thing you need to do in creating your own national repository? Do you just, start designing the national repository? Do you need to put some things in place? I want to believe we have brilliant and intelligent people on this training. Wow. Okay, I can. Okay, Mr. Shukunaza. So thank you for that. You said planning and assessment. You said platform selection, infrastructure requirements, data standard and protocols, user interface design. Very wonderful. Please, can you just give him a round of applause? It shows that you are following. Okay, so I'm getting another one from. Okay, moderator Ma, please can you just read the answers? I think they are coming in now. Can you just read the answers?
Okay, I'm on mute. You have read that of Mr. Chukwunaza. Then this Mr. Bashe Adamu said, to design repository, there is to consider the organizational model. That you have to consider the organizational need. I think that's what you meant to say.
Yes, very correct. That comes in the planning and assessment, need assessment. So that's the first thing you must consider. So thank you so much. I think you also deserve a round of applause. God bless you. Okay, so I think we have a question from Paul, Mr. Paul.
Yes. He said, Mr. Paul is asking, can special library develop and deploy an institutional repository?
Okay, yes, very well. Special libraries, different type of libraries, different type of organizations can design their own internal repository. I was online today and I think I was on National Legislative Matters Body or something like that, and I saw the way they organized their own national repository. I was like, wow. So special libraries, any type of library, public libraries, private libraries, school libraries, they can all set up their own national repository. The general belief is that national repository are only being set up by academics institutions like universities, polytechnics, and the likes. No, national repository can be set up by any organizations. You can be putting your resources. It's basically for archive. It's a digital archive platform. So you can put in all resources emanating from your organizations on your national repository.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think someone else dropped answer to your question. Mr. Dauda. He said, in my own words and ideas, I think it begins with the following. 1. Planning. 2. Understanding your collection. 3. Understanding your user base. 4. Having the right technology. 5. Implementing the institutional repository project. 6. Sustaining and maintaining repository.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think this is very, very good. It shows the understanding of national repository. So he said planning, understanding your collections, understanding your user base very well, having the right technology and infrastructure, implementing the national repository project, and sustainability is very, very important. I did mention something on consistency, and then also adaptivity of the AI out to new system. So So you must put all of this into consideration before you deploy your internal repository. So thank you so much for this wonderful answer, Mr. Dauda. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Elijah. I think someone have a question. Mrs. Blessing or Miss Blessing, sorry. Planning and assessment. What platform? I don't know if it's the answer to your question, but she listed some things. Planning and assessment. What platform to use? What are the contents to be uploaded? And take copyright issue into consideration. Will it be open or closed access?
Okay, so thank you. I think it's an answer to my question. Planning and assessment, the platform, that is platform selection, and the type of content to be uploaded, the copyright issues, and then the accessibility, defining the accessibility. So I think is the answer to my question. So thank you so much, Mrs. Blessing. You are very apt on this. Okay, so can I go ahead to ask my second question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my second question now is, can you tell me the difference between your internal website and repository? I don't know if you get the question.
I think it should come again.
Okay, so I want you all to tell me the difference between your organization website and your organization internal repository. The difference between your organization website and your organization repository.
Some are typing. Maybe we'll have to wait for some time for the answers to start.
Look, I think instead of typing, I think you can just unmute themselves. And do I need to do that at my end, Emma? Then they can just
Yes,
unmute,
yes, please.
they can just unmute themselves and just answer.
Yes, please. I think that's better.
Okay. So I think if you want to provide an answer, you can just unmute yourself and speak now. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Elijah. Blessing, thank you very much. Hello, can you hear me, please? Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I want to respond to Mr. Elijah's question. Well, based on my own understanding, I think when you talk about institutional reputation, you are talking about a web-based platform that is created to host collections and information material for consultation purposes. So it is basically created to host material and collection. That users for recreation, any purpose at all. As a user you wish to. Then when you talk about website is like, is another platform, yes, web-based platform that is that hosts programs, activities, or services of a particular organization, such as an academic institution. So it is not where you come to store large information content for people to consult and use. It's just a platform, a user interface where people can get to access your services and your programs as an institution. That is how I see both that. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, please. I don't know if Miss Mirabel, please, did you hear me speak very well? Because I can barely hear you.
I didn't hear him. I was talking in the background. I said his voice is cracking. I don't know if he had me.
Okay, can
You can't.
can he use the chat option instead? I think his network is having
Okay,
difficulty.
okay, but
Okay, Mr.
can you hear
Dauda,
me
please
now?
from yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
Okay, if you can hear me, you know the question is about the difference between information institutional repository and website, an organizational website. I was saying that the institutional repository is a web-based platform, an interface that is created to host large documents or large amount of information content for user consultation, for purposes of research, recreation, entertainment, or any other purpose for the user. And a website is just a web-based platform where people can access your services, your programs, and they'll get links to other services that are provided by an organization or an institution. So I think an IR is more focused on large content and working on how to provide information materials to users. That's how I think both are different.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, please, Miss Mirabel, please, if you can hear me speak very well, please, can you just summarize what he said?
I can hear you. What? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. What he's trying to say is that organizational website it's a web base that doesn't have a large database just to show the services that you offer to your user, while the institutional website is a web-based service with a large database that is for the purpose of reading, getting access to some information, other services. And that's what I was able to hear, although some were cracking, but this is the little I could be able to record from what he said.
So I think I can get what he's trying to say. So you are right on point. Thank you so much, but I would still like you to still follow suit as I give you the sharp differences between two. I'll just use like 3 words or 4 words to differentiate both. So let's can we just go through the chat session and see answers here?
Okay. Okay, I'm bringing it now. Mrs. Blessing said the organizational repository contains all the intellectual output of your organization, while website comprises of the administrative information, such as about the organization, admission of students, news, etc. Then, Shumba, I don't know if it's a man or woman, sorry, but Shumba said basically the two serve different purposes. The organizational website acts as the front desk of the institution, which briefly shows what the organization offers, whereas the institutional repository archives the intellectual output of the organization. Then Mr. Julius, he said a repository has restricted access in terms of login, while an organization website can be accessed by basically anyone. These are the answers we have for now.
Okay, so thank you so much for all of these wonderful answers. I think I would like to comment on Mrs. Blessing Inena's answer, where she says that the organizational repository contains all the intellectual output of the organization, while website provides the administrative information such as about the organization, administration of students, news, etc. So I will hold on to that, and I would still like to still read that of Shomba. I don't know if he is a he or she. So basically, the two serve different purpose. The word I would like to pull out from here is purpose. From Shomba's own. Then Julius says that a repository has restricted access in terms of login, while an organizational website can be accessed by basically anyone. I would disagree with that. So the differences between a website, an organizational website, and organizational repository is the purpose. So it is the purpose. So websites, serve a wide variety of purpose. Why National Repository, their purpose is usually dedicated to archiving the intellectual output of that organization. In the case of a website, you can have a website where you have galleries being uploaded. You can have a website where you have, blogs, where you have, brief information about like the home, the contact of members of the management team and others, defining the department and the likes. But in the case of National Repository can be part of the organization website as a page. It has its own particular purpose. The purpose is to archive the intellectual output, the resources of that organization, and creating access to it for people to be able to access it in various locations. So I hope you get that the difference between organization, national repository, and organizational website. So the major difference is the purpose of setting them up. Please, do you get that?
Yes.
So IR is for intellectual output, while website talks about the organization. I think it's still the same. It's still talking about the purpose. Okay, so thank you for your response. So the last question before we call it a day is, so is National Repository, is it different from digital libraries? So if you think it is different, how? What is the difference between National Repository and digital library? Are they similar, or are they the same thing, or are they different? So that is my second question. The difference between digital libraries and National Repository. Did you all get the question?
Please come again. So that they can hear. I don't think.
Okay, so the second question is, what is the difference between digital libraries and organization institutional repository?
Please, if you can, if you know the answer, you can unmute and talk, or you can type. Hello, Mr. Elijah.
Yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay. Can I make an input?
Yes, please.
Or can I? Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
From the little I have gathered, Institutional repositories are mostly for articles, while digital library, the content is extended to, it can be multimedia, it can be entertainment, it can be any type of content at all.
Okay. So thank you for that. I think we are getting some response also from participants. So thank you, Miss Mirabel. So that's very apt. You are very much correct.
Okay, I'll take from Mrs. Mrs. Blessing said institutional repository archive only intellectual output of an institution, while digital library has widespread electronic information from various organizations and databases. While Mr. Chinaza said institutional repository contains all intellectual output of members of the institution, while digital library contains library collection. Digital library contains all kinds of collection, including textbooks and others. Then Mr. Bashi Adamu said digital library are used to preserve digital information material for the purpose of archiving them, while digital repositories are used to house electronic resources.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have from Mr. Paul. They are different in the sense that digital library is the digital collection of all the library holds, such as books, journals, ephemera, and government publications, while institutional repository is the intellectual output of an organization.
Okay, I guess that is all. Okay, so I think Mr. Paul's answers is the last answer we are getting there. Okay, so so very well, you all are correct. So the difference between digital library and national repository is the fact that national repository house all documents emanating from that organization. All intellectual outputs or documents emanating from that organization. That is why I said national repository is not just applicable to academic institutions. So if I am serving in Ministry of Education, we can decide to put our monthly report on our national repository because that particular document is emanating from our own organization. But in the case of digital library, you can have them from various sources. The kind of information or content you are putting on your digital library, emanates from various sources, not just from your own organizations. So when you have books, the books authored by various individuals or publishers, being uploaded on your digital libraries, that is a digital library. But when you have them being emanating from your own institutions or organization, that's national repository. So can we see the difference between both? Although they seem very much similar, but a digital library can have a wider scope than national repository. Please, did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can this will be my last question. You may not need to answer it, but it's a question I would like you to answer sincerely within yourself. So the question is, if you are being taught how to create and manage an internal repository, can you are you ready to build an internal repository for your organization? So you can decide to answer or not. So this is the last question I would like to leave you with. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your time today. It is well appreciated. I like the fact that it is a two-way style of learning. We all learn from each other. So God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. Thank you for this very insightful section. It, it, it has been well explained and very understandable. And also, thank you for, I'm thanking the participants for engaging the very interactive section. I also want to thank coordinator for coming up with the idea of this digital literacy. We have learned a lot so far. And I also want to thank the team for cooperating and bringing up everything, going through the behind scenes and all. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so can I quickly make an announcement, Miss Mirabel?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we want to inform everyone that we have now extended the assignments and pre-assessment quiz on all the modules to the end of the training. So what this means is that you must ensure that you finish all of these assignments and pre-assessment quiz and practicals before the final day of the training. So that means you can do them at your own convenience time. We are not setting any deadline for them again. So we believe we all have various things we are engaging in, and we may not be able to meet up within the set deadline. This is why we are doing this, because we want you all to benefit from this training. We wish to graduate everyone. We wish to graduate everyone and convocate everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you. So that is just the brief announcement I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. As we come to the end of today's section, I hope we all are going home with the knowledge which Mr. Elijah has imparted to us. And we hope that we'll see you all next week for